must not be made to suffer, especially at this time of the year when we have the Yuletide and New Year festivities, which come with a lot of activities, the PDP said. The statement urged Nigerians not to despair, but rekindle their hope in the future as the PDP is now repositioned to regain power in 2019 and return the nation to the path of good governance, social stability, and economic growth for which it is generally known. Now, the All Progressives Congress has accused stakeholders in the petroleum industry of hoarding the product, which has led to its scarcity in cities across the nation. The ruling party, in a tweet on Friday, apologized to Nigerians for the inconvenience the situation may have caused, noting, however, that there is no actual fuel scarcity. Rather, some persons have hoarded the product for selfish reasons. This comes shortly after the People's Democratic Party on Friday challenged President Muhammadu Buhari as the Minister of Petroleum Resources to find a quick solution to the lingering fuel scarcity now ravaging all parts of the country. In a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary Kola Ologbondiyan, the party insisted that it is not enough for the president to sit in his comfort zone and put the blames of the fuel scarcity at the doorsteps of marketers while Nigerians continue to suffer untold hardship. The PDP, however, urged Nigerians not to despair, but rekindle their hope in the future as the party is now repositioned to regain power in 2019 and return the nation to the path of good governance, social stability, and economic growth for which it is generally known. Now, more reactions have continued to trail fuel scarcity in Nigeria as the national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Dr. Victor Oye, has blamed the current fuel scarcity in the country on corruption and confusion in the country's petroleum industry. Oye said this in an interview in Awka while reacting to the situation. He said it was unfortunate that the cartel responsible for the hardship inflicted on Nigerians had not been defeated, but were rather dictating the pace in the system. Oye said there was need for clear delineation of powers and functions of the offices of the Minister of State for Petroleum and that of the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, while describing the scarcity as a seasonal period when the poor suffered so that the rich could be richer. The APGA chairman noted that it was beyond the control of filling stations operators. He called on President Muhammadu Buhari to reduce the tasks in his hands by appointing a substantive Minister of Petroleum who will supervise the ministry more closely with the capacity to act on policy issues. In another development, chaotic traffic scenes continued in Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, on Saturday morning, with commuters spending hours on the road just 2 days to Christmas. The situation is made worse by long queues of vehicles at filling stations in most parts of the state, owing to the scarcity of the premium motor spirits, popularly known as petrol. The slow movement of cars stretches as far as the Ojota axis as more commuters get on the ever-busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on their way out of Lagos State for the Yuletide celebrations. Meanwhile, it appears the situation is getting worse for Nigerians traveling from Lagos to other parts of the country at this time of the year as the lingering fuel crisis spills into other states. Now, this comes in spite of assurances from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, and the pipelines and product marketing company said they have made enough supply of products to last several weeks. The fuel situation across the country has been a major concern to the citizens and their leaders, a development that has triggered blames from the critics of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Now, the last has not been heard of the nationwide fuel scarcity as the Department of Petroleum Resources in Ogun State sealed 6 petrol stations and arrested 4 persons. The DPR made the arrest for fuel hoarding, under dispensing, sabotage, obstruction of justice, and installation of commercial gas cylinders without approval. All the affected petrol stations were found to have more than enough of the commodity but refused to sell it to the public. Some buyers accused the station owners of selling fuel at night above the pump price of 145 naira. A mild drama, however, ensued at one of the filling stations along Ilaro Expressway as the attendants and the manager fled upon citing the DPR officials and men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The DPR head of operations, Kasali Akinade led the surveillance team to the stations. Akinade said that the exercise became necessary after receiving the information that some filling stations were hoarding, under dispensing and selling above the pump price. As many motorists in Abuja trooped to filling stations in a bid to get enough of the commodity for movement during the long Christmas holidays, almost all major filling stations were crowded by motorists throughout the day, even though very few stations were not dispensing petrol. The long queues witnessed yesterday in the capital city was the worst since the commencement of this round of fuel scarcity early this month. Some residents said many motorists are preparing to travel out of the city from today to various destinations and therefore require much quantity. Emmanuel Obi said many workers got their salary yesterday and they need to fill their fuel tanks in order to have a hitch-free Christmas holiday. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Ibe Kachiku ordered the NNPC and the Department of Petroleum Resources to ensure that the fuel scarcity ends before the Christmas holidays. The NNPC said recently that it has doubled the supply of petrol nationwide in a bid to end the current scarcity. The corporation said Abuja now receives about 170 trucks against the 70 trucks it used to get. Now, travelers at different motor parks in Benue State lamented hike in transportation fare as fuel scarcity worsens in the state. Most passengers decried high cost of transport fare, which they are made to pay for trips to various destinations of their choices. At the same time, drivers are worried over the continued hardship they are made to face in a bid to obtain premium motor spirits from petrol stations in Makurdi and its environs as the fuel scarcity bites harder. At the Benue Links Park in a Wurukum area of Makurdi, a traveler, Peter Enechi, said he was made to pay an extra cost of 1,000 naira in addition to the former 3,000 naira fare charge to embark on his Port Harcourt journey. While another passenger at Ejifa Park, Ogiliehi, said he paid the sum of 1,200 naira instead of the usual charge of 600 naira to travel to Otukbo, over an hour distance from Makurdi, the state capital. Moving on, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has ordered a comprehensive operational strategy to beef up security nationwide during the Christmas and New Year. A statement by the force spokesman, CSP Jimo Moshood in Abuja, said Idris directed all commissioners of police and Assistant Inspectors General of Police to ensure adequate security of lives and property of Nigerians. He said the police boss also directed all commanders of Police Mobile Force, Counter-Terrorism Unit and Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad to comply with the safety order. Moshood added that special forces and specialized units of the force, including Special Tactical Squad, Special Protection Unit, Border Patrol and Explosive Ordnance Department have been mobilized across the country. The spokesman said that Idris has equally directed the Assistant Inspectors General of Police and Commissioners of Police to ensure that no roadblock was mounted in the country. Now, in a bid to secure the nation ahead of the Yuletide, the Inspector General of Police has deployed 315 mobile policemen to Imo State to ensure adequate security during and after the Yuletide season. Addressing newsmen at the Imo State Command Headquarters in Owerri, the Imo State capital, the Commissioner of Police in Imo State, Chris Ezike, says due to lack of manpower in the command, the Inspector General of Police has graciously deployed 5 units of mobile policemen, 60 in each unit to Imo State to complement the efforts of the command in fighting crime and other related criminal activities during this Yuletide. Ezike, however, urged all Imo indigents in the diaspora to come home for Christmas as adequate security has been put in place to ensure their safety. Now, the Lagos State Police Command has declared a popular independent oil marketer and prime suspect in the Badu cult killings in Ikorodu and Epe axis of the state, Alhaji Alaka Abayomi Kamal, wanted. The 51-year-old suspect, who is the owner of Alaka Petroleum, is wanted in connection with series of well-orchestrated killings and nefarious activities of the Badu cult group. the notorious activities of the dreaded cult group had sent many to their early graves with cruel killings through the smashing of mortar and pestle on victims' heads. In a special police gazette bulletin issued under the authority of the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, with reference number CR 07217, Alaka, who had earlier been arrested and released on bail by the police, was said to have frustrated attempts to rearrest him. Now we're still on security. At least 4 persons have been killed and 8 others injured in an attack by a lone gunman in Kaduna State. The incident occurred on Friday night around the Nindem village axis in Godo district, Jema local government area of the state. Confirming the incident in a statement, the spokesman for the Operation Safe Haven, Colonel I.K. Ekwenyong, said the gunman invaded Godo village as the residents were holding a carol at the community square at about 9 p.m., shooting sporadically, and in the process killed 4 persons and injured 8 others. He disclosed that the bodies had been deposited in a mortuary while the 8 wounded persons were taken to the Kafanchan General Hospital for treatment. He also added that some people suspected to be masterminds of the attack have been arrested for further interrogation, while more troops have been deployed to the area to avert a fresh attack of reprisal. You're watching NCTV News, and still to come, Nigeria's economy is still vulnerable despite exiting recession. Home-based Eagles step up preparations for Chan tournament, and rugged man Yomi Fash Lanto and others are ready for celebrity housemate show. And also the UN slams new sanctions on North Korea. We'll have this up next after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're going to move right into business news now. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, said that in spite of Nigeria exiting the recession, the economy of the country was still vulnerable. The IMF, in a statement by Raphael Ranspach, its media and press officer, welcomed the federal government's actions to improve the power sector and business environment under the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. The fund explained that macroeconomic and structural reforms remained urgent to contain vulnerability and support sustainable private sector-led growth. The IMF said its staff team, led by Amine Mati, senior resident representative and mission chief for Nigeria, visited Nigeria from the 6th of December to December 20th, 2017 to conduct the 2018 Article 5 consultation, which led to this report. The fund said the factors enumerated above contributed to raising the ratio of interest payments to the federal government revenue to unsustainable levels, reflecting the low growth environment and exposure to the oil and gas sector. The banking industry's solvency ratio have declined from almost 15 to 10.5% between December 2016 and October 2017. Now, the House of Representatives is to investigate the Central Bank of Nigeria for alleged under remittance of over $5 billion to the Federation account. Now, the lawmakers also urged the federal government to design a bailout fund for collapsed and ailing industries across the country. Now, this followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance by Ayo Omidiran. He noted that the CBN, being the banker of government, receives financial inflows on behalf of the Federation and should make the same available on demand via the Federation account on a monthly basis. She, however, regretted that the Apex Bank has not been forthright on the issue. We're going to move right into sports news now. The Polish Football Association has confirmed that the pre-World Cup friendly match with Nigeria will be staged at the Municipal Stadium in Wrocław on the 23rd of March 2018. Now, Polish nation team will face South Korea at the Silian Stadium in Chorkzel 4 days after their meetings with the Super Eagles for the first time in history. PSPN also announced that the friendly against the three-time African champions will begin at 9 p.m. Nigerian time. The Municipal Stadium in Wrocław is the third largest stadium in Poland and has a capacity of 42,000. Nigeria's representatives in next month's CHAN tournament, home-based Eagles, have stepped up preparations for their bid for the country's first title in Abuja. Nigeria experienced heartaches in the last two tournaments, and the country's passionate football lovers are expecting a good showing this time around. Camped at the Bolton White Hotels, the side, led by Eagles chief coach Salisu Yusuf, holds training sessions twice a day at the Abuja National Stadium Goal Project pitch. Shot has been observing the sessions for the past few days and spoke to some of the players and coaches as regards preparations and their expectations for the Morocco event. Speaking on the issue, Coach Yusuf said spirits are high in the camp, especially after recent triumph at Super 6 Invitational in Kano, where his team played against the top teams of the Nigeria Professional Football League. According to the former Kano Pillars boss, only players who have made what it takes will make the final cut to Morocco, adding that the tournament isn't going to be easy because each of the nations are also eyeing the ultimate prize. And stepping right into entertainment news, popular entertainers including Yomi Fashlanso, Mama G, Doris Simon, and Rugged Man are set to slug it out for 1 month in a reality show tagged Celebrity Housemates, which is aimed at bringing fun and entertainment to viewers. According to the executive producer, Kemi Otegbede, the show would go a long way to highlight the Nigerian cultures and provide entertainment. Other housemates who are billed to be a part of the show are Emmanuel Ikubese, Funke Malam, Ada Ame, Eniola Badmus, Bolanle Ninalowo, Frederick Leonard, and Ogena Ekubiri. The organizers said the last man standing would win a cash prize of 7 million naira, while the runners-up will be rewarded with cash prizes and endorsement deals. Now, singer Adekunle Gold has opened up on once asking newly married Nollywood actress Adesugba to be his girlfriend. He also spoke on dating fellow singer Simi. He said while he was still trying to meet Adesugba's conditions for accepting him, the actress announced her engagement to her sweetheart, Banky W. However, Adekunle said that it was a joke and his tweets shouldn't have been taken seriously. He said, "People do not know if Adesugba is just my friend. They wouldn't know if my tweet was just banter or if it was real." The highly anticipated headline concert of talented artist Folake Adesugba has come and gone, but the buzz is yet to be over as so many interesting things happened at the show, which took place on the 20th of December at the Eco Convention Center, Eco Hotels and Suites. Tagged the Falls experience, fans have hailed the artist for indeed giving attendees an experience they wouldn't forget too soon. From the amazing performances to the incredible stage design and cinematic experience, here are some reasons why the show will be talked about for a very long time. As the show began, Falls made a grand entrance from the roof, looking all sporty in a comfortable fitting black hoodie to perform La Fête. Also, he kicked off with a series of interconnected skits. Contrary to the norm, which allows VIP attendees to have a special position close to the stage, the organizers instead allowed the regular attendees rally around the stage while the VIP guests were positioned behind. For most performances with fellow artists, Falls changed outfits, with every costume contributing to the storytelling of the entire concert. He was dressed as a lawyer and later as a white garment prophet, among other costumes. Moving into the foreign scene, with China's backing, the UN Security Council slapped new sanctions on North Korea, which will restrict oil supplies vital for Pyongyang's missile and nuclear programs. The Council unanimously adopted a US-drafted resolution, which also orders the repatriation of North Korean workers sent abroad to earn revenue for Kim Jong-un's regime. It is the third raft of sanctions imposed on Pyongyang this year and comes as the United States and North Korea show no signs they're willing to open talks on ending the crisis on the North Korean peninsula. U.S. President Donald Trump hailed the move, saying the international community was pushing for peace with the isolated regime. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has praised the UN Security Council for imposing tough new sanctions on North Korea in response to ballistic missile tests. In a tweet, Trump said the vote proved to the world that wants peace, not death. The U.S. drafted resolution includes measures to slash North Korea's petrol imports by up to 90%. China and Russia, Pyongyang's main trading partners, voted in favor of the resolution. North Korea is already subject to a raft of sanctions from the US, the UN, and the EU. Now, she described North Korea as the most tragic example of evil in the modern world. UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson said the latest measures against North Korea were a vital step towards curbing its nuclear weapons program. We're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we're going to round up with our major stories. We'll be right back. Senator Hope Uzodinma has cautioned for dealers and farm owners in the country to stop playing politics with the distribution of petroleum products, which has led to the scarcity of fuel during the Yuletide. Chaotic traffic scenes continued in Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, on Saturday morning, with commuters spending hours on the road just 2 days to Christmas. In business news, the International Monetary Fund said that in spite of Nigeria exiting the recession, the economy of the country was still vulnerable. And in sports news, Nigeria's representatives in next month's CHAN tournament, home-based Eagles have stepped up preparations for their bid for the country's first title in Abuja. And of course, in entertainment news, popular entertainers are set to slug it out in a reality show tagged Celebrity Housemates. And in the foreign scene, with China's backing, the UN Security Council slapped new sanctions on North Korea, which will restrict all supplies vital for Pyongyang's missile and nuclear programs. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us this evening. That's it for tonight's news. Once again, I am Folake Adesugba, wishing you all a great night.
Why is my own always different?